Good morning students, this is Joy Varghese from Uncovering Chemistry. This is the last video for chapter 2 solution. Textual exercise question, what we are going to discuss 31, 34, 36, 37, 38, 39. The last till 42 is there that we have already discussed in the previous video, and here this few 32 and 33 were given in homework. Okay, sorry, that was also discussed in the previous video, so go through that. That was based on abnormal molar mass. Okay, that is Van't Hoff factor. So we will discuss with the first one, 2.31. It's a theory question. We'll go through it. See, textual exercise question 2.31. The depression in freezing point of water observed for the same amount of acetic acid, trichloroacetic acid and trifluoroacetic acid increase in the order given above. You can just see here. Now, what is the reason the freezing point, depression in freezing point increases? But before starting this, everyone know that depression in freezing point is a colligative property. Which property? Colligative property, and depends on the number of particles. So here, depression in freezing point is a colligative property, and hence it depends on the number of particle irrespective of their nature, right? So now, among the given compound, fluorine being most electronegative has the highest electron withdrawing inductive effect, what we say, and hence it is the strongest acid, while acetic acid is the weakest acid. Means the one which contains fluorine is the strongest acid and the acetic acid is the weakest acid. Okay, now, so these all things you have to keep in mind whenever you have to solve this question, what we say. Okay, now next one. Okay, now when we see here, you can see here H is there, 3H are there, in this 3Cl is there, and this 3 fluorine is there. Fluorine is the most electronegative, what we call. So when we talk about the acidic strength, this will show the negative inductive effect, means all electrons will move towards whom? The fluorine atom, what we say, right? So what will happen? This will get easily, H plus can be dissociated, that property what we call. So therefore, trifluoroacetic acid ionized to greater extent. The word is trifluoro, means this one we are talking about. Acetic acid ionized to lesser extent in aqueous solution, what we say, ionized to lesser extent, because this is the most electronegative. Now, thus the number of ions in the aqueous solution for the given compound follows the order, means who will give the maximum ions. So here the order, if you see, number of ions decreases when we go like this, right? So maximum ions you will see here. So what is given? Colligative property increases this side, means this one is the we give maximum particles. See, in other words, depression in freezing point increases as we go from acetic acid to trichloroacetic acid and trifluoroacetic acid, means maximum depression in freezing point will be seen in this case. Okay, so this was the answer for this. Now the next question. Now 2.34 question, you can see vapor pressure of water at 293 is given here, this much mm of Hg. Calculate the vapor pressure of water at 293 when 25 gram of glucose is dissolved in 450 gram of water. Glucose, when we say, what is the formula? The C6H12O6, right? So its molar mass will be 180 gram mole inverse, right? So here, as per the Raoult's law, we know the formula, P1 naught minus P1 upon P1 naught is equal to X2, if you remember, or N2 upon N1. So this you can see, this is solvent and this is solute, what we call, right? So glucose is the solute. So 25 gram, you can see here 25 gram glucose in 450 gram of water. So here you will see this is 25 gram glucose, molar mass of glucose 18 is the molar mass of water, and 450 what we say grams of water is given in your question. This is the what we call it as vapor pressure, what is given here of water, right? If you calculate this, correlate this, what we say, this we have to find for solution. So you will get the value of P is equal to how much? 17.44 mm of Hg. Understood? So this is the simplest question. You have to just be careful by writing this all data. Okay. Now the next one. Textual exercise 2.36. 100 gram of a liquid A, molar mass is also given, was dissolved in 1000 gram of liquid B. Molar mass is given. So from this molar mass you can make out. The vapor pressure of pure liquid B was found to be 500 torr. This one. calculate, this is also for pressure, what we call it as, calculate the vapor pressure of pure liquid A and its vapor pressure in the solution if the total vapor pressure of solution is 475 torr. Now that is P total is given here. So now mass of A, when we say it is given here 100 grams in the question, mass of molar mass of A is also given 140, mass of solvent, that is 1000 grams, that is given here, you can see. Then molar mass of B is 180, PB naught is given 500 torr, that what we have discussed here of solution B, liquid B, and P total is given. You have to find PA and PA naught, right? What you have to find? PA naught and PA, right? So the next part, see, now moles of A you can find out. Moles of A, this much is given, that is liquid A. Moles of B, from the data what is given. Moles of B also we found out. Mole fraction of XA, liquid A and liquid B, we got mole fraction also. Now from the data we know PB is equal to PB naught into XB. If you remember, P2 is equal to P2 naught into X2, like this if you remember. But here for 2 they have taken here B. So it is how much is vapor pressure is 443 torr. P total is equal to PA plus PB. So what will be? PA is equal to what we have to find, no? So P total minus PB, you will get 32 torr. Now PA naught we have to find, if you remember in the question. So PA naught is equal to what? PA upon XA. You simplify the value, you will get this. Thus the vapor pressure of pure liquid A is 280.7 torr and the vapor pressure of liquid A in solution is, right? So this is pure liquid and this is in solution, right? So this part over. Okay, the next question. Now this question, what we say here, you can see textual exercise 2.37. Now in this you can see a tabular form is given in which you can see of acetone as what you call pressure of acetone is given at mm of Hg. Chloroform is also given. Now vapor pressure of pure acetone and chloroform at 328 Kelvin are given. This you can see both respectively. Assuming that they form, this is very important part, ideal solution over the entire range of composition, plot. Now this is the graph what we have to draw. P total, that is partial total pressure, pressure of chloroform, pressure of acetone as a function of X acetone, mole fraction what is it. The experimental data observed for the different composition of the mixture is given here. Now what you have to do here? Now this is what is given, the data what is given, this 3 you can see the rows are there, these are the 3 rows what we say. The last one is P total. What is the one? P total. P total means this acetone plus chloroform, you add this, these two you add, these two you add, you will get this, like this you add this and you will get P total for all of this data given. Okay, now the next part. Now you can see the plot against pressure and mole fraction of the same graph paper are shown in figure. This is same thing what is used in this. First suppose if you compare this pressure of acetone and mole fraction of acetone what is given here, if you compare this you can see this is the graph what you get, right? Then if you take pressure of chloroform and then mole fraction what is given of chloroform, if you see what you will get, the graph what you are getting is this one, right? Then if you add this both, right, that is the from the data, the table, the last column which was there, this both you add, you will get this graph. Graph will be a curve like this what you can say. This is, we can say, nearer to straight line. So you can see here the plot of P total dips downward, hence it is said that the solution shows which deviation? Negative deviation. If it dips downward like this, means this is the straight line what we say if you join, right? So here if dips downward what we say, so you can see here if it dips downward like this is the straight line what I have drawn here, downward means negative deviation it shows. Okay, now the next one. Now you can see here 2.38 question, benzene and toluene form ideal solution over the entire range of composition. The vapor pressure of pure benzene and toluene is given, you can see at this temperature, this is of benzene and this is of toluene respectively. Calculate the mole fraction of benzene in vapor phase. This is very important. This we already discussed in textbook. I will just show it. If 80 gram of benzene is mixed with 100 gram of toluene. So now from the given data what we will see here, you can see Vapor pressure of benzene is given, mass of benzene you can see 80 grams, in your question only it is given. Mass of, you can see, toluene 100 grams, moles of benzene. Benzene means mass upon molar mass, so 80 divided by this, so you got moles of benzene. Same way, pressure of toluene is given, vapor pressure, moles of toluene is equal mass upon, so that you can see moles of toluene. So it is moles of toluene and this is moles of benzene. Now mole fraction if you want to find out, so this is of benzene, so moles of benzene upon benzene plus toluene, what we say, so you got mole fraction of what? Benzene. This is mole fraction of benzene. Then now if you want to find mole fraction of toluene, we know x1 plus x2 is equal to 1. The 1 will be C6H6 and 2 will be C6H5Ca3 toluene, right? So if you want to find this, what will be x2 is equal to the 1 minus x1, that is 1 minus mole fraction of benzene. You will get mole fraction of what? C6H5Ca3 toluene, right? So you find out this way, mole fraction of toluene. Now total vapor pressure, what you do? P total is equal to, you can see, partial pressure of benzene, partial pressure of what? Toluene. Now partial pressure P is equal to what, if you remember? Partial pressure of C6H6 is equal to what? Vapor pressure of C6H6 into mole fraction of C6H6. So that substituted value here for both toluene and this, and you will get what? Total this one, this way, this is the same thing what is written here instead for P C6H6. So you do this, you will get what? P total is equal to 41.12 mm of Hg. Now the next part. Now you can see according to Dalton law, now this is for vapor phase, what we have discussed in your question, this part, vapor phase. According to Dalton's law, partial pressure of benzene is equal to Y C6H6 into P total. Now this is for vapor phase what we are talking about, mole fraction what we have, instead of mole fraction what we write. So this is what we say, Y C6H6 is equal to this partial pressure of benzene upon P total. Substituted, you will get the value about approximately 0.6 what we call, right? Now this where we have seen in textbook, I will show it to you. This is the part what I explained here, given in your textbook for vapor phase. Using Dalton's law of partial pressure, P1 is equal to Y1 into P total. Now instead of P1 you can say benzene, this is mole fraction, instead of X mole fraction we have written here Y1 for vapor phase, according to which law? The Dalton's law. Okay, now the next, I think this everyone now understood why we wrote here Y. Okay, so now the next question you can see. Okay, this is textual exercise 3.9 question. Sorry, 2.39 question. Can see the question. The air is a mixture of number of gases. The major component are oxygen and nitrogen with approximative proportion is given here by volume. At 298 Kelvin, the water is in equilibrium with air pressure at 10 atm. Right now at 298 Kelvin, if the Henry law constant Kh for oxygen and nitrogen are given this much mm, this is for nitrogen and this is for oxygen, respectively, calculate the composition of this gas in water, right? The composition of gas, this is the main part of the question, right? Now if you start solving, air contains 20% oxygen, 79 nitrogen and 1% other gases by volume. Total pressure of air in equilibrium with water is 10 atm. This is given in your question. So partial pressure of oxygen PO2 is equal to percentage by volume, that is 20% what you have seen of oxygen we are finding, into total pressure, that is P total whole upon 100. So here this is the total pressure, this is 100 atm, you can see, sorry 10 atm. So that I will substitute here, divide by 100, so I will get what? Partial pressure of oxygen, that is 2 atm. Okay, now 1 atm is equal to 760 mm of Hg. The 2 atm is equal to how much? The simple cross multiplication, this is this much mm of Hg. Similarly, partial pressure of nitrogen, that is 79% into 100, 10 sorry, divide by 100. So what you will get, this one also same, atm, convert it into mm of Hg. So this much. So this is for oxygen and this is for nitrogen, right? Okay. Now according to Henry's law, we know P partial pressure Kh into X. If you remember, partial pressure directly proportional to mole fraction, and this is proportionality constant or Henry's constant what we are seeing. So if you substitute all the details what is given according to this, so a mole fraction will be equal to PO2, partial pressure oxygen, divided by Henry's constant. You will get mole fraction of what? This is of oxygen, right? Same way, similarly, you can see from this mole fraction, this will be of nitrogen. So this is the easiest sum, but the main part in this sum is the formula what we saw here. So remember this, don't forget this, okay? So here we come to an end of this video. Next time we'll continue with the new chapter, but I will be giving few questions for practice from haloalkanes and also from MCQs from solution and haloalkanes both.